WozziCast.
Hello everyone and welcome to WozziCast. We're now on episode 3 of our podcast. I'm pretty excited. This is actually one of my favourite parts of the week is when I get to do WozziCast because it's nice and relaxing and it's just good to do a little bit of talking. Yeah, we're gonna introduce some changes here to the formula. Now, instead of, I've noticed for my Q&A, it's a bit lackluster, and I was thinking about it, and I was thinking, you know, as much as it is good to like give some to the Patreons, I kind of want to, you know, I don't want to seem like you have to pay to ask a question. So from now on the regular WozziCast, you can now submit questions normally, so you can either submit them to my Twitter with hashtag WozziCast, or you can comment on YouTube if you're watching this on YouTube or listening on YouTube, whatever you prefer to say. As for the Patreon questions though, they'll be going strictly to the WozziCast after show. I had a bit of a brain aneurysm there, sorry for that. They're going to be going on the after show, which means they get priority, so sorry people, but you know, gotta respect the Patreons. So yeah, that'll be pretty cool. So like, if your question doesn't get answered on this show, and you want to guarantee that it will, then you can go there. That's pretty epic. I must stop saying I've noticed that about myself, as I say obviously, and so yeah a lot, so I just did it again. Anyway, it's good to have you all here. It's actually impressive that we're up to episode 3, because this was one of the things I was thinking, should I just ditch this? But no, I actually really enjoy it, and it's one of my, as I said, it's one of my favourite parts of the week. So yeah, WozziCast is here to stay. We're going to be here till 500 episodes, so episode 500 we're turning it off. And that's a promise. Unless people really like this, then we'll go for 501 episodes. But yeah, we're gonna be 100 years. 100 years of WozziCast. That's the name of this episode. 100 years of WozziCast. We got some. I just did again. So I'm not gonna draw attention to that anymore because that's just gonna ruin the episode. I know it. I always do that. I did that last time. When I was recording episode 2, the thing freaked out and crashed, as some of you will know, like the audio didn't come out good. But in the original cut of that, I kept like calling out the fact that I kept like saying so and obviously, and every time I said it, I would just stop myself, and it just ruins the entire episode. So I'm not going to do that anymore, just for all of our sanities combined. So I think that's fair. You know, if you don't think that's fair, leave a comment. You know, ask a question, Aussie. I don't think that's fair. That's a statement. Never mind. Anyway. Yeah, so, you know, the question's now open to the people. So, you know, let me know what you think of this show, obviously. I like the feedback, and I like seeing comments. I think I prefer seeing comments over anything else. Like, I like seeing the subscribers go up, and I like seeing the likes go up. But, you know, with comments, you literally see what people have to say, and I don't get a lot of negative ones, so I'm pretty proud of that. If you're watching this show and you freaking hate it, then, yeah, you can leave a negative comment. I'm not going to stop you. I'll probably say something negative back, or something positive, depending how I feel. I'm a little tired, ladies and gentlemen. I record these at night, like later in the night, because it helps with the vibe. And it's also freaking freezing in here, so I'm just going to put on this jacket while I'm talking. So if I sound weird or you hear something in the background, that's me putting on a jacket because it's freezing. It's like 9 degrees or something. I tell you, it's insane. The weather, I'm never satisfied with the weather anymore. Like it used to be, because in the summer in Australia, it gets to like the 30s. It even got to 40 like 10 times this summer, which is 10 times too many for me. I hate it when it gets to 30, let alone 40. I hate the heat. I'm not a fan because, you know, I don't have a lot of air conditioning. Well, I do have air conditioning, but like it's not so great, so the heat affects me pretty badly. So yeah, but then in the winter or the autumn or the spring, it gets so goddamn cold. Like it's so cold. It's like 9 degrees or something right now, and I just don't understand it. I can't handle it. One day they're going to invent something, right? And here's my suggestion. Elon Musk, bloody Neil deGrasse Tyson, anyone who's smart out there, here is your next $1 billion investment, okay? Make a bubble around everyone's house, and then they can decide to change the the seasons. So like if you're a real big fan of summer, just change the weather to summer in your bubble. So you got a big bubble around your house, and you just change it. I think that's that's going to be the future, is people going to have bubbles around their lawns, so then that way they can decide, I don't want it to rain today, so I'm just going to make a frickin' bubble. I mean, with climate change and global warming and all the big ones, that's probably what's going to come down to. We're going to have big bubbles so we can live in them, because our atmosphere is destroyed. Anyway, that's my little rant about my brilliant idea. Don't steal it. If you steal it, I'm going to find you, and I'm going to have to politely ask you to stop because I didn't copyright it. Anyway, how many times can I say anyway in this podcast is something we should also keep track of. Again, that's going to ruin the episode, so I'm going to stop. So, I have been, I've been doing a lot of stuff recently. I usually leave this part for what you're working on, Aussie, but I'm just going to put it here. I bought a webcam, or a face cam, or just a cam, if you will. So what that means is, in the next AussiWozzi videos, I'm going to start using that to spice it up, because I've been gathering feedback. I'm sorry if I sound like so jittery, I'm just like that cold. But yeah, I've been gathering some feedback about the show, because obviously I want to improve it. YouTube is an evolutionary process. I would hate myself if I was just doing the exact same thing over and over for years and years, because that's not what my channel's about. But anyway, so yeah, I bought a cam because I was talking to my girlfriend. She was like, yeah, you should get a camera, because she doesn't sound like that. She doesn't sound like, yeah, you should get a camera. No, she sounds way nicer than that. But yeah, she was telling me that I should get a camera because it will help spice it up, and I agreed. I just didn't have the money, but now I do have the money. Well, not like Patreon money, but just like money I have, because spending like a bunch of money on computer parts wasn't enough. I spent a bunch of money on a camera. So it's the Ava Media Cam 1313. It's pretty good. It's 1080p. 30 frames per second. I would have preferred 60, but what can you say? The webcam industry isn't that real, isn't that amazing? So, I could have saved that money and gone out for a DSLR, I think they're called. They're like the big rig cameras, but they're like $700, and I want the face cam stuff to come out quickly, so I just bought it. It looks good. I plugged it in, I set it up, I gave myself a cool little overlay, so I'm going to, be using that. And also, what I've noticed is that I have terrible lighting in my room. There's a reason why these aren't video podcasts or vodcasts, which is a stupid name, by the way. Don't call it a vodcast. But yeah, so my lighting's not that good, so I'm gonna have to buy that. It's a never-ending process. Like, I buy the camera, the lighting's not good enough, so I have to buy the lights. It's like, I tell you, the YouTubing career is the biggest scam of all time. If you have any dreams, I know I've said this on the channel, that if you want to create stuff on YouTube, you should do it, but don't, unless you have like a rich family who can provide all the money for you, or some form of disposable income. Because it's expensive, unless you Mr. Beast, where you spend a bunch of money to make a bunch of money, it gets hard. But that's a bit depressing, so I'm not going to go into that. So yeah, no, it's good. So you'll be seeing that a lot. You'll be seeing more webcam stuff. I'm going to try and put it in every episode, because I have a cool face, I guess. That's one thing I noticed about the webcam, is that you have this perception of yourself that you look real, you think that you look pretty suave, or you look pretty cool. I looked at myself and I was like, man, I am pasty, I'm specky, and I just look like a moron. But, that doesn't matter. We're still going to release the videos with the webcam. Just keep in mind that, if you're like, who's this specky git on the camera, then that's yours truly. Anyway, I think it's time for our segment, what you're working on, Aussie. Well, Hold on, we have to do the theme song, don't we? What was the theme song again? We'll just make it up. What you working on? What you working on? Aussie. Alright, what am I working on, Aussie? Aussie's gonna tell you. He's been working on, as I explained last episode, I'm part of the editing process for a show called The Aspie Whisperer. We finally released the first episode. We looked at the pilot. The pilot was absolute poo-poo, and we redid it, and it came out pretty flippin' good. Sorry for saying the flip word. Anyway, I worked hard on it, so if you guys want to check that out, just type in Aspie Whisperer on YouTube, and I'll say it again, because I think I slurred over that. Aspie Whisperer on YouTube. Look that up if you want to see my editing skills in it. You wouldn't be able to tell, because I didn't put any reference to myself at all. But yeah, no, I was in it as well. I did interview. So, you know, if you like listening to my voice even more, and you like autism for one reason or another, give it a look out. That's probably the last time I'm going to mention it, because, you know, it's not what I'm here for. This isn't the part where I talk about... this segment is literally the part where I talk about the stuff I'm involved in, but, you know, we're going to leave that anyway. So yeah, that's kind of what I've been working on. On the front of videos though, now that I've got my webcam, I just have to figure out what will be the debut video for that. So that's something I'm going to think of tonight after this, and I'm probably going to record it tomorrow and then post it tomorrow if I'm good at editing, which I usually am. I've got good work ethic. That's the words. My words are just flippin' destroyed. Like, I can't use my words anymore. They're all gone. So yeah, that's what I was working on, Aussie. Now it's time for our second segment, and usually everyone's favourite part. I have a bit of a voice crack. I don't know if anyone actually likes Thing of the Week, but we're going to do it. It's time for Thing of the Week. Thing of the Week. It's Thing of the Week. Thing of the Week. Alright, so again, I need to, you know, maybe invest in getting some theme tunes or something to separate the segments. But yeah, it's Thing of the Week. Everyone's favourite part of the show. Literally, people don't shut up about it. And when I say that, I mean no one's commented on it, so I don't know if Thing of the Week is terrible or not. So, my Thing of the Week this week was a little movie. It's a bit old. It's a bit of an oldie. I watched it on Stan, because, you know, my life has become nothing but boredom in between videos. So yeah, the movie in question was called Good Will Hunting. Now, I've heard about this movie before, as I think it's that movie where, you know, I don't know if there was like a GIF that came from, I'm pretty sure there is, but I don't remember. It's like the GIF of the guy nodding. Why am I talking about GIFs on an audio podcast? Am I absolutely a moron? Yes. Anyway, Good Will Hunting. Now, I have heard of this film. I didn't see it, but I watched it now on Stan, as I said before, with my girlfriend, because we decided that was what we were going to watch, because we're very indecisive. So I was like, Matt Damon, he's really popular, and he's got Robin Williams, they're both good, so we'll watch Good Will Hunting, and that's pretty much the thought process behind that. But yeah, so here's the rundown, right? This movie, Matt Damon is the star, and he basically plays a janitor who works in a university, and the twist is, well, it's not really a twist because it's established like immediately, is that he's a math genius. So like everyone is trying to figure out this little math formula, and he's just like, yeah, I knew it instantly, because he's a Jimmy Neutron boy genius. So yeah, the whole plot is that this kid is just unnaturally gifted with knowledge. Like, he just reads a lot of books, he eats apples, I guess. I think he does. I think I got sidetracked on that part. But yeah, so Matt Damon's a big kid, and the teacher who discovers him is like, you know, I want him to get me a medal or something. He wants to use his knowledge for his own personal gain. But unrelated, Matt Damon gets arrested, so he's forced to work with the teacher as like a probationary type situation. So it's like he can monitor him, and he has to like go to therapy and stuff, and that's where Robin Williams' character comes in, because he plays a therapist. And over time, it basically goes throughout his life. You know, he has his like a girlfriend and stuff, and he You know, as I said, he likes apples because he goes up to a guy and he says, "Hey, do you like apples?" And the guy's like, "Yeah, I guess." And then he says, "How about them apples? I just got a number," because he was hitting on a girl. I'm terrible at these figure of the weeks because I always go on a rambling tangent. Anyway, so yeah, the movie. Did I like the movie? Yeah, I did. I mean, I kind of turned in and out because it was sort of like a background noise kind of deal. It was good fodder, as I say, some good TV fodder. So if you just want something in the background, I recommend it. It's got a pretty good cast. It's got Matt Damon, as I said. It's got Robin Williams. I don't know who played the teacher. I don't remember his name. It's got Ben Affleck, who plays like Matt Damon's best friend. So if you want a pre-Batman Ben Affleck, which is I don't know, some people like that, I guess, then yeah, that's good for you. I didn't know it was Ben Affleck until like an hour in, because he looks so smooth and young, and now he just looks so grizzled and rough, and like, he just looks like he doesn't look like an old man by any means, but he looks very rough compared to what he used to look like, if that makes sense. So yeah, I liked the movie. My girlfriend didn't like it. She thought it was like a bit boring, and I'm willing to agree with that. Like, us young people, we don't like boring stuff. We don't like movies about janitors who are really good at math. We want MCU movies about Marvel Spider-Man doing wacky stuff with Tony Stark or whatever. We don't want to watch math. It's boring. But I liked it, seriously. It's a good movie. I recommend you check it out. If you've got Stan, then why am I saying this as if I have to do an ad? This isn't an ad for Good Will Hunting on Stan. This is just a recommendation. So yeah, that was Good Will Hunting. This is short as hell. This video. I'm just looking at the timer. I was like, wow, we're only 17 minutes in. I thought this would be 20 because I like to try and aim for like 20 to 25 minutes. But I think question Q&A is actually going to kill some good time. I don't want to kill time because time is vital. But yeah, no, we got a question. It's from Ryan Baker again. My number one boy, as I like to refer to him as. I don't actually refer to him as that, but I guess I will now. So he asks, what do you think of the idea of Taika Waititi directing a Star Wars film? Now, for those who don't know, Taika Waititi is pretty much a very famous director, especially recently. He made What We Do in the Shadows, he did Thor Ragnarok, he did Jojo Rabbit and countless other stuff. Those are just the things that I've seen from him. And I like him, I think he's good. But, so yeah, it's been confirmed that he is going to be directing a Star Wars movie. A lot of people are very pleased about that because it's like, yeah, the guy who did the Funny 4 movie is now doing Star Wars. Won't that be epic and a half? Personally, I'm a bit on the fence because I don't want Star Wars to turn to like it could benefit from turning into like an MCU style situation, but I kind of like Star Wars because it's, it was connected, but it didn't feel like it had to. Oh, what the hell am I saying? I'm saying it like, Star Wars doesn't rely on cameos and like Easter eggs and stuff to keep afloat like the MCU does, but it literally does. I mean, like, that's pretty much all Star Wars is these days, is being like, hey, remember old Star Wars? So yeah, Taika Waititi, he's a really good director. He obviously seems to care about Star Wars because he's been in The Mandalorian. I think he had a hand in producing it or directing it, something. I don't watch the credits, people, so I don't know, but I think he did have a big hand in it. So yeah, no, I'm a bit excited because, he's good. I hope it doesn't turn into like a silly scenario. Like, Star Wars can be silly, but like not like too silly. Like, I don't want it to be like Guardians of the Galaxy where they feel the need to throw in a joke every 2 seconds, because they're scared the movie's not good or something. But no, what my perfect scenario for Star Wars these days is focusing on small stories within different time periods and not really relating to the big scale things. Because what I don't like is that they feel the need with all these new movies that it has to connect to the big Star Wars original trilogy, otherwise it's going to be crap. And The Mandalorian, aside from like being like, oh, it's after the Empire and after Return of the Jedi. It doesn't really make a ton of references to the original trilogy, which is good, and it turned out really well. So what does that say? I think it says that we don't need to have a goddamn reference to the old Star Wars every 2 seconds for it to be good. It can just have lasers and Star Warsy words and ships and little baby Yoda or whatever, and it will be good. So as long as Taika Waititi manages to capture that, that old original trilogy like mystique without ruining it all, like apparently Disney always does, because I don't think Disney ruined Star Wars. I just think it's like people just want more of the same but different, and hopefully Taika Waititi can live up to those impossible standards that the Star Wars fandom has laid out. But he made 4 funny, and 4 was kind of like, no offense to any 4 fans, but he was kind of like one of the most boring. Like, he had the most boring movies in my opinion, because a lot of it was like a bunch of gobbledygook. But yeah, they made the gobbledygook seem interesting, so, who knows? I think it might be good, so thank you, Ryan Baker, for that question. You appreciate it a lot. So, I guess we're going to do our closing statement. This is a bit of a short one. I thought I would have more to talk about. I'm usually more rambly than this, but I am rambly, so, if you are interested in the main show, or you're just a WozziCast listener, then this might not be for you. But yeah, expect webcams in my videos now. WozziCast is still going to remain audio only, just because I like it, because it doesn't depend on the lighting or the atmosphere or anything. It's literally just me sitting in front of a mic, and I prefer it that way. Plus, you don't miss out on anything if you listen to it on iTunes or Spotify. So yeah, again, WozziCast is on iTunes and Spotify, so if you want to listen to it on that platform, you can. If you want to listen to the AussiWozzi post show, or no, what? It's not the AussiWozzi post show. This is WozziCast, the WozziCast post show. Then you can check out my Patreon for 5 schmackos. Schmackos is not a real currency, but maybe it might be when this gets uploaded. So if not, then just dollars. So yeah, once again, if you want to keep up to date with my stuff, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram and even Facebook. I've got those. I've got a Discord now, so you can come chat to me. You could even ask me questions in the Discord and I'll answer them on the podcast, or I'll just answer them plainly. It depends on what the context is. But yeah, so I'm building up, I'm getting there. I've got a lot of social medias. I keep in touch. I'm down with the kids. I'm 19, so why am I saying it like that? I'm literally one of the kids. Anywho, thank you very much for listening or watching. If you're watching this on YouTube, there's nothing to watch really, so good on you anyway. I'm sorry for peeking before. So that's pretty much all we got time for this week. Once again, thank you so much for joining us. It's been an honor having you. If you have any feedback for the show, please let me know. Message me on Twitter or Instagram. Yeah, you can message on Instagram, can't you? Or just leave a comment on the YouTubes. Or if you don't have any feedback, then just say nothing or say something. Really, all of it's appreciated. So yeah, we'll see you next time. And next time, it will be episode 4, and I'm going to talk about sticks and bugs. So if you stick around for that, don't hold me to that promise, by the way.